Tonight on WTOP 10 Nightly News, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is suing New York and the committee. The action, he says, is too far.
Plus, a New York politician is fighting back against the Florida's Don't Say Gay bill.
Also ahead, the New York State budget is missing its deadline. Could that mean major problems for the sticking point for lawmakers?
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Thomas Caffarella.
And I'm Grace Parenti.
The New York State has missed their budget deadline, forcing Albany lawmakers to pass an extension. The spending bill will have a 3-day waiting period before it goes to the floor for a formal vote later this week.
The delay has been caused by two key issues: bail reform and the new Buffalo Bills stadium. Republican lawmakers want to see changes made to the New York's bail law, claiming it has led to an increase in crime. The statewide pushback against the proposed stadium for the Buffalo Bills. It would cost taxpayers an estimated $800 million, the largest public commitment for an NFL stadium. The state budget is $216 billion.
The city of Oswego is investing in an all-electric future. 6 electric vehicle charging stations were installed in the city of Oswego. The $150,000 project will partially be covered by a $23,000 grant provided by Omni Solutions. 5 of the 6 chargers are level 2 charging stations, allowing vehicles to recharge quickly. And the 6th one, a high-speed charging station allowing cars to recharge in just 30 minutes. Stations are placed across Oswego, including the Fort Ontario Swimming Pool, Bright Peck Park, and the Casafulli Ice Rink.
Mayor Burley Barlow announced the city of Oswego is hosting a 2-week medical and essential supplies drive for the people of Ukraine from April 4th to the 15th. The city is accepting first aid kits, diapers, hand sanitizer, personal hygiene kits, and basic health supplies. All items must be new, unopened, and not expired. The drop-off bins are located on the first floor of City Hall on weekdays from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m.
The New York City Mayor Eric Adams is launching an ad campaign in 5 Florida cities, completely funded by donations. The message says, quote, "Come to a city where you can say whatever you want. New York City loves you," is the city's way of denouncing the law dubbed by opponents as the Don't Say Gay bill. The law bans comments about sexual orientation and gender identity in Florida classrooms with kids in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Adams says he believes the bill is clearly designed to discriminate against the LGBTQ community.
And that's what this movement of Don't Say Gay is about. This political showmanship of attempting to demonize a particular group or community is unacceptable. And we are going to loudly show our support and say to those who are living in Florida, listen, we want you here in New York.
The advertisements will run for 8 weeks and are expected to reach 5 million people.
Andrew Cuomo has filed suit against the State Ethics Commission over the money for his book deal. The New York State Joint Commission on Public Ethics wants him to pay $5.1 million he earned writing a book while he was a state employee. Ethics Commissioner says state employees and resources were improperly used in the creating of the book. The lawsuit against the Ethics Commission comes as the former governor is said to be considering a political comeback.
Governor Kathy Hochul announced the public health education campaign regarding New York's cannabis law starting Monday. Public service announcements on TV, radio, public transportation, billboards, and social media will reach New Yorkers. The campaign will educate the public on the law itself, including who can consume, where to consume, and how to consume cannabis safely. A number of towns and villages in the state have given citizens the option to opt in or out of allowing marijuana in sales in their areas.
The House of Representatives approved legislation to decriminalize weed across the nation. If passed in the Senate, it would also get rid of any prior convictions associated with marijuana, as well as add a 5% sales tax. But with a divided Senate, some lawmakers doubt it will pass. While some argue that weed is a gateway drug, others are concerned that the bill doesn't prepare law enforcement for the end of prohibition.
Pregnant women have been told about the risks of smoking and drinking, but it turns out the messaging about weed wasn't quite as effective. According to a 2019 study, cannabis usage among expectant moms is on the rise. And now, a new study from the Colorado School of Public Health found pregnant women who were exposed to THC and CBD more likely to have kids who weighed more and had higher blood sugar levels when they are 5 years old. A study author says that there is a misconception marijuana is safe, so some women use it instead of other meds.
Broadway stars singing in the rain in New York's Times Square to support Ukraine on Sunday. The massive electronic billboards were decked out in blue and gold, the colors of the Ukrainian flag. The musical theater stars sang the rebellious anthem from Les Mis, Do You Hear the People Sing? Traditionally called the center of the world, Times Square is where New Yorkers gather to show support for others in crisis. Organizers hope their gesture offers hope to the fight for democracy and millions of Ukrainians displaced by the war.
And coming up later tonight, the battle in Ukraine continues as Russia claims to pull back operations. Officials are calling their actions a massacre.
And the FDA is recalling a popular hand sanitizer. We'll tell you what brand to look for.
And now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Samantha Carlson.
Sam, what's the rest of the week looking like?
Well, for the rest of tonight, expect it to be mostly cloudy with spring-like temperatures for tomorrow and Wednesday. But the rain's going to come and put a little damper on things, with rain lasting from Wednesday night all the way through to your weekend. I'll have more for the weather after the break.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union Building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Samantha Carlson. And before we go into the full weather, let's take a look at back in 1974 for your weather history. So it was today that down in South Carolina, they had unseasonably warm temperatures. As their highs, it was up in the mid to upper 80s as their highs, and even had about an inch of rainfall. So we're going to get warmer, but not warm in the 80s, not quite yet. Looking out there right now, you can see that there's some clouds moving across the area. No rain yet. That's later on in the week, but they will keep our temperatures warmer than it could be this time of year. And as of precipitation, not much going on for the Oswego area, but up in the North Country, you might see a few showers as the night lingers on. Perfectly okay, not going to do not so much in terms of wetness and precipitation. Looking in tonight at Oswego, it'll be, like I said, mostly cloudy with lows in 34, with light winds that turning to calming down overnight So you'll still need that jacket, sadly. Not quite warm yet until tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, it'll be around 9 a.m., it'll be around 40 degrees, warming up to the low 50s by the afternoon. So definitely spring-like temperatures for tomorrow, and it might be the last warm, sunny day for a while. As you can see, heading into Wednesday night, you can see the showers and rain chances go up for your middle of the week and lasting through Thursday. But as the high for tomorrow is 55, and rain coming in, cooling it down just a little bit at 51. And for your 7-day forecast, as the day goes on, you will see that it's going to be raining through the weekend, and it'll be raining through the weekend, and finally be sunny again on Monday.
Thanks, Samantha. The cost of war on full display over the weekend. A wave of international condemnation comes after emerging images show of bodies of civilians across the streets of Bucha, Ukraine. President Joe Biden and Ukraine's president both calling the acts of violence a war crime. Isabel Rosales reports, but first, a warning. Some viewers may find the images in this story graphic and disturbing.
Violations and war crimes will be held accountable.
President Joe Biden vows more sanctions are on the way.
He is a war criminal. This guy is brutal. And what's happening in Bucha is outrageous.
Over the weekend, horrifying images out of Bucha near Kyiv. The bodies of at least 20 men, civilians, left scattered along a single street. The town's mayor saying this mass grave could carry up to 300 victims.
We shall never forgive them. They will never be forgiven on this earth or in heaven.
Despite all the video evidence, Russia claiming it's fake. Ukraine's president witnessing the atrocities from the ground, calling it a genocide. Unable to take control of parts of Ukraine, the Kremlin apparently revamping its war strategy, now shifting focus to eastern Ukraine, with a target date of control by early May, according to several U.S. officials.
When the war with Germany began, I was only 1.5 years.
This Holocaust survivor once escaped the Nazis as a baby. Now, at 82 years old, she's pushed out of her home for a second time.
It is very difficult when my beautiful town, when I lived all my life, is destroyed.
I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
And as those images come from the Ukraine, the U.S. continues to send aid to the war-torn country. This comes as Russia is withdrawing some of its forces from the city's capital as peace talks continue. But U.S. officials say what happened in Bucha shows violence in a country is far from over.
Now, as the images from Bucha so powerfully reinforce, now is not the time for complacency. The Ukrainians are defending their homeland courageously, and the United States will continue to back them with military assistance, humanitarian aid, and economic support.
Sullivan also said he expects to see the U.S. continue to send military aid to Ukraine in the near future. So far, the Biden administration has committed $1.65 billion worth of weapons and ammunition since Russia invaded. Sullivan pledged the U.S. support to Ukraine for, quote, as long as it takes.
At home, President Biden continues to deal with supply chain issues, but he's showing support for Americans' truck drivers. On the White House lawn on Monday, the president highlighted his administration's trucking action plan. He told a group of truckers and union leaders at the event they were the ones making the economic comeback from COVID-19 possible.
I want to thank you all to keep what you're doing to keep America moving, because that's literally what you're doing, especially these last 2 years, helping carry the nation literally on your backs. All of you here today are people our economy should be built around, because you all are the people who literally make it run. That's not hyperbole. You literally make it run. I have nothing against investment bankers. They could all retire and nothing much would change. You all quit, everything comes to a halt.
Action plan was introduced last year. It has used federal funds for better quality trucking jobs to help get through pandemic supply chain issues. Truckers move an estimated 70% of the U.S. economic's goods.
And coming up later tonight, a number of migrants and COVID cases are expected to rise in the U.S. When could you see these numbers go up?
Plus, a new flavor of Coca-Cola is about to hit the shelves. What makes this flavor so special?
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Major Discussions is the new show that explores the stories of students right here on campus. I personally came here to SUNY Oswego for the broadcasting program because I love to hear people's stories and to do work just like this.
WTOP 10 Nightly News. Here is your health and consumer update. Elon Musk is now the largest individual shareholder of Twitter. This comes after a week after Musk announced he would be starting his own social network. Musk has taken a 9% stake in Twitter. Investors must publicly disclose investments if they buy more than 5% of company shares. Musk has 80 million followers on Twitter, more than any CEO.
A new version of Coca-Cola is about to hit the shelves. The new flavor, dubbed Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Bite, is supposed to taste like a pixel. According to the company, it will have the bright elements up front and a refreshing finish. This comes after Coca-Cola announced the Starlight flavor, which is inspired by space. The pixel-flavored cola will be on sale starting next month.
With aluminum in short supply, cat food and canned beer seem to be the latest victims of a supply chain shortage. Jen Sullivan has more on today's Consumer Watch.
Aluminum is in short supply, and that's leading to shortages in both the cat food aisle and at your local brewery.
We are actually having aluminum demand spikes within the United States and around the world.
Ken Allschool, assistant professor of supply chain management from the University of South Florida, says we can blame labor shortages, the pandemic, and the ongoing supply chain crisis. Production isn't meeting up with demand, and China's pollution crackdown is driving aluminum manufacturing even further.
Basically, decrease the production by approximately 10 to 20% worldwide.
Allschool says pet adoptions soared during the pandemic and are still strong, raising that demand for cat food. And as some retailers take measures to eliminate aluminum packaging, aluminum isn't the only problem cat food sellers are dealing with.
We don't have enough meat products that go into that cat food. And the main reason really for this is our workforce.
The aluminum shortage and price increases are also having a major impact on small breweries across the country. Demand for aluminum can products skyrocketed during the pandemic as alcohol consumption rose and breweries shifted to to-go models.
Pretty much everything has gotten more expensive, most notably our packaging. So the aluminum cans and lids and everything, really everything we use connected to the canning of the product.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Experts expect this issue that may linger more for several more months, well into 2023.
2 Disney-themed hand sanitizers have been recalled due to ingredient concerns. The FDA says Best Brand's consumer products recalled the sanitizers due to benzene and methanol being in the products. Exposure to benzene and methanol can cause serious health problems. Best Brand says it's not received any complaints, and the affecting products are already off the shelves for other reasons. Consumers who still have the sanitizers are advised to stop using it and throw it away.
Potential surges in migrants and COVID cases may soon hit the U.S. This comes after the CDC announced the lifting of a ban that was put in place by the Trump administration. The ban stopped most migrant workers at the southern border for COVID reasons. The CDC says that COVID cases are in a spot where they feel more comfortable lifting the ban. The lift will go into effect May 23rd.
A new study shows obesity rates among U.S. adults got worse during the pandemic. According to the Department of Agriculture, the average body mass index in the U.S. increased by 0.6% between March of 2020 and March of 2021. That happened even as exercise participation rates soared by 4.4%. Researchers didn't look at diets, so people may have been eating less healthy foods. A rise in the consumption of alcohol may also have contributed.
And this is something you don't see every day. A baby seal in the middle of a roadway on Long Island this Sunday. Some people called the police after they saw a seal wandering through a parking lot. It made its way to a nearby hotel before it was rescued from a traffic circle. A New York Marine Resource Center had the team come retrieve the baby seal. The program director center says the center of seal season is approaching, but something like this is highly uncommon. And coming up in sports, it's Alex Brooks.
Alex, can you give us a quick preview?
Yes, I can. We'll take a look at how the Lakers baseball fared over the weekend. A familiar face for Athlete of the Week, and championship weekend in the NCAA tournament will conclude tonight in New Orleans. All this and more on WTOP 10.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union Building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night. Welcome back to WTOP 10. I'm Alex Brooks with your Monday Sports Report, and let's get straight to it. The Lakers baseball team took on the New Paltz Hawks this weekend at a neutral site for their first in-conference matchup of the season. Following a masterful 14-3 win against the Hawks on Sunday, the Lakers improved their record to 13-3 on the young season. Jacob Sanders was credited with his third win on the season after pitching 5 shutout innings. With the Lakers totaling 31 runs scored this weekend, they've made an early statement on the SUNYAC. In other Laker news, earlier today, Lucas Olson and Sela Wiley were announced as Laker Athletes of the Week. Starting out with Olson, the catcher had a productive weekend, going 7-11 with 5 RBIs and a dominant .636 batting average over New Paltz. For Wiley, this is her second straight honor for this award. She currently leads the women's lax team in many categories, including points, goals, shots on goals, and caused turnovers. She looks to continue her success against the Geneseo Knights this Wednesday at home at 4 p.m. The Syracuse Mets will open the season tomorrow at home against the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. The AAA Subway Series opener will have the Rail Riders in town until Sunday afternoon. The Mets ended their 2021 season in the bottom 5 in their conference with a record of 47-69. General Manager Justin Smorrell is excited to have a normal season without restrictions, as he notes that tons of people haven't seen the new stadium renovations that took place in the 2021 season. I know it's April, but there is one game left on the docket for March Madness as North Carolina faces off against Kansas in a winner-take-all championship game tonight as we speak. Both teams scored 81 points in their Final Four matchups to punch their ticket to the big game. For the Tar Heels, they are seeking their 7th championship in program history, with capturing their last one in 2017. For the Jayhawks, a win tonight clinches their fourth in program history and first in 14 years. Well, let's go to the women's side of the court for Huskies Gamecock Championship. Boston makes a spin move for the basket to extend the lead. Boston flips it out to Henderson, and she gets it as an 18-point lead. Henderson ends the run with the Euro step to end the run for UConn. The ball is taken away by Boston, and on a fast break, Henderson extends to a double-digit lead. I thought she was going to slam it down there. Henderson just doing it all herself. She puts the nail in the coffin for the Gamecocks, and the South Carolina Gamecocks erupt in jubilation as they win their 2nd national championship in 5 years and 2nd in program history. Following a dominant 35-2 record and a 26 performance by Destiny Henderson, the South Carolina Gamecocks are the 2021 national champions.
Alrighty, well, that's our report for tonight. Please be sure to stay tuned for the Sanasaw Show.
Thank you for watching and have a great night, everyone.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.